Hello and welcome to CadoinkStudios. I am Cadoink, and today, spawning in the top left of Tal'darim Alter, we have the Teal Zerg player LoN, and his opponent spawning in the top right of Tal'darim Alter is raTinuviel. I'm not sure how you say that, but I'll probably say Tinuviel, as the Orange Protoss. So this is a ZvP sent to me by LoN. It is the first game in a best of 7. For those of you who don't know LoN, he is someone I've known for a while through StarCraft, and he is a high-level Diamonds, Borderline Masters Zerg player. And he said that this was a great best of 7 between him and his friend raTinuviel. And raTinuviel is, Ra is her team. She is on Team Rushing Alliance, and I believe she's a German player from the team, and they do a lot of games. They do StarCraft 2, they do Battlefield and Counter-Strike and, you know, Call of Duty, all these sorts of games. And yes, I did say she is a girl gamer. Absolutely love the girl gamer community, fully support them, and the reason is everyone should be playing StarCraft, male or female, it doesn't matter. Everyone should either play or enjoy StarCraft in one way or another. And I say that because it's my absolute favorite game. Have a little bit more info on Tinuviel. She has named herself after a character from the Lord of the Rings series, or another related series, I believe. I'm not exactly sure, but LoN just wanted me to give you that fun fact. She's a big Lord of the Rings fan, which I think is very, very cool. Great book series, great movie series, and Hobbit's coming out at the end of the year. I'm sure a lot of people are excited for that. And so anyway, like I said before, this is the first game in a best of 7. I do not know the results, so I'm very excited to see what is going to happen in this game. I believe that Tinuviel is also high level, either Diamond or Master, somewhere in there. So pretty comparable matchup between LoN and her. And so I'm excited to see their strategies and who ends up coming on top here in game number 1. Looks like LoN went for the pool first and then going for the hatchery afterwards. Pretty usual thing to do. You kind of want that pool up in case there's kind of some crazy pylon things going on. Sometimes you have to take this, and then on different maps there are various little cannon rushes you can do. But I don't think we have to worry too much about that. LoN will have his spawning pool up. It is finished actually, and he's going to be popping out a few Zerglings to try to deal with this probe. Just send him away so that no more blocking can happen. And Tinuviel doesn't seem like she wants to do any of that. She's just going to be putting down a gateway and a cannon, just kind of getting up her Forge Fast Expand wall as her Nexus just about finishes up. She's continuing to add on probes, per usual, and probably going into a very standard macro game. In fact, it looks like LoN wants to be doing the same. He's going to be taking his third here, and yeah, very standard. The most standard ZvP you can think of, that is this game right now. It's such a huge map that you can afford to do this. We see often a lot of macro games where the entire map will be taken. And we have, wow, a second gateway going down. A little bit interesting. Oftentimes we see a cybernetics core and then another gateway. Then you start to add on the gates. But it looks like Tinuviel really just wants to get her wall up. And I believe she's going to be going into macro-oriented play. She might do some little zealot harassment thing at the beginning of the game. We'll have to see. I think this is a good enough wall where the probe is enough to block it. And then of course we have the photon cannon to deal with any Zerglings. However, unfortunately, that it can't reach this Zergling, so this is so annoying. He's gonna have to wait till the zealot pops, and now he can deal with those. Now she can deal with those 2 Zerglings. Excuse me. Looks like Tinuviel is getting up her gas. 2 right now. She might go up to 4. We'll have to see what she decides to do. And she's putting her chrono boost into her probes, so I imagine she's going to be sticking to this macro-oriented style, not going for too early aggression, putting on too much pressure. LoN, on the other hand, looks like he's going up to 4 queens. No, he's sitting at, yeah, he's going to be sitting at 4 queens. So his creep spread should be quite good, as he'll have an extra queen to kind of move that along. And his 4th or 3rd queen, whatever you want to say, is going to be moving to his 3rd so he can continue to larva inject. LoN really wants to be just getting up to about 75 drones, something in there, 60 to 75, and then most likely we'll see him put down a Roach Warren and then just kind of blaze towards 200 Roach Army. But there's a lot of other things he can do. He's taking a third gas, which I think is very interesting. This could indicate that he wants to go mutas or something a little bit more gas focused, a little more gas heavy. But at the same time, he could just be getting up maybe some early infestors and doing something like that. So we'll have to see what he decides to do. There's no lair finish, no lair on the way, as we can see. So not going to know for a little bit of time. In the meantime, ZvP is getting up a Twilight Council as well as a robotics facility. Where is that robo? Somewhere around here. There it is. Yeah, and a few more gateways. So she's doing something very standard as well. I imagine she's going to be going for the Immortals and then maybe a heavy Stalker army, something like that, heavy sentry. Could be any number of things. We'll have to see in the future. We can see her production tab is absolutely phenomenal, just continuing to produce. And finally we have the lair being started and 2 Evo chambers going down. So we'll see LoN's tech choice in a little bit. He does not have a Roach Warren yet, and interestingly he's putting down a Baneling Nest. So this would kind of indicate that he's going to be going for a Zergling Baneling style, and most often we see mutas with that. So we'll have to see how that works out for LoN and how ZvP deals with that. She's going to have a good number of gateways up, and she already has her forge, so she can put down cannons in her base if she needs to, if the mutas do come. The lair just now finishing, so we'll see what goes down. Oh my goodness, 2 Baneling Nests? I don't know if this is a mistake, or if LoN really... Yeah, it has to be a mistake. There's absolutely no reason to get 2 Baneling Nests. I don't know. He's getting his Zergling upgrades. He's also getting up some Spore Crawlers, which is interesting. He flew an Overlord through the base. In fact, we can see that he sees everything that's going on, and with the Twilight Council and a Robo, you kind of can expect that there's no Stargate on the map. So that's really just to deal with observers, which is a little bit overkill in my opinion. There's nothing really that LoN wants to be hiding. Maybe his second Baneling Nest, I don't know. I think that ZvP is going to see that, and it's going to put a smile on her face as she realizes he made that mistake. But she is going to see the Spire, so that's going to be very, very good for her. She can start putting down cannons in various areas. In fact, we see in the production tab that cannons are going down in her base. So very quick reaction, very great play. She's also getting that blink up from her Twilight Council so that she can blink her Stalkers forward and do a lot of damage to the mutas. So LoN's card's kind of been shown, and we'll have to see what he decides to do, if he's going to commit to it. I think he will. The Spire's going to finish. It is actually in a very interesting place. And I imagine he's just going to want to try to harass, but it's going to be very, very difficult. We have a lot of gateways going up, 4 more right now, so ZvP will be able to warp in a lot more Stalkers. She's also taking her third, and as a Zerg player, you don't really want your Protoss opponent to be on 3 bases when you're on 3 base. So LoN's going to be wanting to take up a 4th in a little bit as well, if he doesn't do any kind of crazy all-in aggression. And look at this, we see a Dark Shrine going down, which is very interesting. This could be just to do some harassment, but I kind of feel like it's more for Archons. DTs are really, really good for producing Archons because they're a little bit cheaper on the gas side, and Archons are so good against mutas. If LoN's mutas are clumped up, the Archon will just destroy them all. Massive splash damage. So I think we'll see Archons coming out. We also have +2 attack for ZvP and Carapace. Let's see, is that Carapace? Yeah, Carapace for LoN. Interesting. And we have the Baneling speed finally coming down. It's interesting. He got 2 Baneling Nests, and then he kind of neglected to get Baneling speed for a while. Part of that could be he wanted to save gas for this big swell of mutas that's flying across the map. But part of me thinks it was a mistake. So he's going to be flying in with these mutas. There are a large number of cannons here at the 3rd. How much is in the main? Only 2 cannons, a little bit more risky. In fact, they're only powered by 1 pylon, so LoN can come in and actually power that down, but it looks like he's just going to try to get this assimilator. As some Stalkers are warped in, and as ZvP moves her army in, she kind of revealed Blink. Stalkers going down, but the muta's taking a lot of hits as well. And we can see they didn't do too much damage, really just shutting down that assimilator. But when we have some DTs being warped in here, can LoN see them? No, he cannot. And so these Archons are going to be so good. If he flies in there and these Archons are right at the edge, LoN's going to take a lot of splash damage on his Mutas. And so his Mutas are kind of in a bad position right now. They're going to be swinging over to the left. They see the Archons, so they're going to be moving to the right, and he's really stuck in a pretty poor position. If he moves down here, Stalkers are just going to chew him up. If he moves over here, Archons are going to get a few hits off as he runs by. So LoN's just going to park his Mutas there as he takes a 4th and a 5th base, kind of a secret 5th and secret 4th. Most often we see the Zerg player take this base. As it's a little bit easier to defend, the creep spread is kind of good for that. He can use this watchtower to defend it. Oh, and the Mutas are going to be swinging through the middle. A little bit of a great play by LoN, although here comes the Archon, and some huge hits on the Mutas. Oh man, Mutas going down. So bad for LoN. You can see how squishy his Mutalisks are, and how good Archons are. So his Muta effectively shut down. He's continuing to get upgrades for his Zerglings. He's getting that Neuroparasite for, not Neuroparasite, Pathogen Glands for his Infestors. And he's going to be kind of switching into a Zergling Baneling Infestor, which can be good, but I don't think it's as effective as Roach Infestor. You kind of want Zergling Baneling Muta, so you can do a lot of attacks like this. He's going to be swinging in with his Mutalisks in the main as he attacks the 3rd. Oh, but here comes the Archon. Isn't going to get hit off. Yes, 1 hit. Look at another. No, it's not. The Mutas are going to fly away. But this is what's good about Zergling Mutas. You can kind of attack at various locations at once. I would have liked to see some of those Lings swing over here, as a lot of them were just kind of sitting around. But those were fantastic force fields by raTinuviel, saving actually 2 of her warp gates. Look at this. This one only having 7 health left. Great save by our Rushing Alliance player. Did I say Rushing Alliance was her clan in the beginning? I can't quite remember. I'll post a link to the website in the description bar, so if you'd like to check out her clan or her team, you can do that. Looks like we have some Banelings morphing in from LoN. I think he wants to bust this down. Don't know how worth it will be. He's going to put a lot of resources into that, and we can see he's already lost quite a bit, kind of sitting 900 ahead of his opponent. raTinuviel in a very strong position. Her 3rd is well defended. We've got Archons, we've got Colossi and Stalkers. Colossi are going to be so good against the Zerglings, and the Sentries are going to be used to force field, forcing the Banelings back. And the Stalkers are just going to deal with the Mutalisks, the few Mutalisks that are left. And we have a few DTs moving down to this bottom left base. We'll see what kind of damage they do. Actually, going to be running away. I think they're just scouting around, and now that she sees it, she's going to target down this hatchery, and I think she's going to get it. There's no detection around here, and DTs will kill buildings so fast, especially at +3 attack. That was really quick. +3, +2 armor on the way, as well as a Stargate, and that Zealot leg, and of course Thermal Lance. And the nice thing about getting a fast +3 attack is that you can start getting shields, and shields are going to be very good for your Archons. And here we have the Banelings rolling in. It looks like he is going to get at least 2, 3, 4. Oh man, all 4 of the gateways. That's really good for LoN. He needs to stream in with his Zerglings, but his Zerglings aren't doing anything. And he kind of let the Protoss army move forward and defend. So 4 gateways lost, but I think that raTinuviel will have no problem replenishing those. Imagine she'll put some in her main and then maybe re-wall. Yeah, she is going to be re-walling. But I'd like to see her put on some sort of pressure other than these DTs. The DTs killed this base, but now LoN is going into super defense mode, and DTs are not going to be able to kill this in any kind of reasonable manner. And it's not really that inefficient of LoN because he is sitting at 2,000 minerals. But I think the big problem for LoN is he hasn't really done that much damage. We have some Zerglings finally streaming into the main. This is probably going to be the first big bit of damage he does. He'll be able to take out a lot of probes here, maybe even some tech structures, but no, he's running away. A little bit cautious, kind of committing his army but not doing too much damage. So this actually not being too effective. Once again, LoN losing a lot of resources there. And he sees how big and scary the Protoss army is, so he really needs to transition into some late game play, which he is doing. He's getting up his Ultralisks. Interestingly, he has no Infestors, which I feel would be quite good. He could do a lot of Infestor harassment. Well, actually, considering the amount of cannons on the base, maybe he couldn't. But regardless, Infestors are so good at kind of shutting down Protoss army movement. So if he could catch the Protoss army here, he could swing up and attack here, do a lot of things like that. But this is just kind of an awkward composition. We have a lot of Banelings, a lot of Zerglings, Mutas, and some Ultralists. Ultralists going to be super strong, but against a very Archon-heavy army with sentries that can kind of force field and block the Banelings, I don't know how much damage this is going to do. So we'll have to see. He's going to be moving up, trying to take out this third once again. There is a fourth base for raTinuviel down in the bottom right. Very sneaky base, but she's putting up a lot of cannons and some more gateways. And here we have the Ultralists moving in and trying to destroy these warp gates. I think they'll be able to get them before the Protoss army comes, and here comes the Protoss army right now. I don't like this engagement. Some force fields can really prevent these Banelings from landing, especially since the Ultralists are kind of in the front. The Banelings aren't really doing that much damage, and everything is just dying to splash damage. The Archon's crushing the Mutalisks. The Ultralists dying so fast, and now here comes the Banelings a little bit late. At this point, the Colossi can just crush them like that, and that engagement was so bad for LoN. You really don't want to be attacking in a choke. You want to be attacking somewhere out here, where your Banelings can come from the north and the south side. You can have your Ultralists in the middle, and if any force fields go up, you can use the Ultralists to break them down. And so raTinuviel's just going to be moving forward, attacking this base, and taking a little bit more map presence. There are a lot of Zerglings on the map, but these Colossi and Archons are going to deal with them just fine. One thing raTinuviel does want to do is probably get a pylon somewhere around here. She, of course, has one here, but a little bit closer so she can warp in some Zealots and try to harass these bases. This one's going to be a little bit cost inefficient to kill. But just to check this base and to check this base and make sure that she is in a good position. More Ultras on the way. I kind of don't agree with this. I think he should be tech switching into Broodlords, which he is getting 10 Corruptors at this time. But he put a lot of gas into these Ultralists, and he's kind of got a mixed match army, which I don't think is the most effective. And raTinuviel kind of sending a Warp Prism into the main just to get killed. A big blunder by her. Not going to cost her the game by any means, but would have been nice to have that not happen. She did, of course, get a mothership. She's going to be moving down here so she can take another base. This will be her 6th base, I believe. Yeah, as this is her 5th. More gateways on the way. She really needs to be spending that money wisely so she can constantly be re-warping in if her army gets crushed. She wants to be able to remax as quickly as the Zerg player, if possible. So we have some Broodlords coming in. It's kind of an awkward army at this time. We have 3 Broodlords on the way, 8 Ultralists, and a good bit of Lings. So kind of an odd combination. We'll have to see what happens. The one thing that's blowing my mind is how small raTinuviel's army actually is. She has a good bit of Colossi, but she's only sitting at 162 supply. I'd like to see her warp in some more Archons. It seems like she's gearing up for kind of an anti-Broodlord army. Colossi not actually the best against Broodlords. Archons are really what you want. And Archons are pretty good against Ultras as well, so I'd like to see some more of them. And I don't really know what she's doing with her army right now. She's kind of moving it in kind of an odd path, just, I guess, kind of scouting out her boundaries, making sure that she has the watchtower, things like this. But I imagine an engagement is going to come up pretty soon. She has a lot of warp gates finished. This might be the timing she was waiting for. Now that she has these warp gates, she can kind of replenish her army quicker. She's also getting up that Templar Archive so she can get Storm going on. Storm very good against Zerglings and very good against Banelings. And of course you can use the High Templar to make Archons. You can use the Storms after Vortex, which is so good. But wow, look at this Colossi count. She's sitting right now at 9 Colossi. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's gonna just destroy the Banelings in this army and probably do a lot of damage to the Ultralists as well. What he can try to do is, what she can try to do, is Vortex this army, and then just kind of pick off the Banelings later. And that's going to be very effective. LoN, on the other hand, is just now getting his Infestors up a little bit late. Could have had a higher count and could have had that that energy up a lot higher. When the first engagement happens, his Infestors might be a little bit lower energy as they're just now being built. And I don't know. I don't know how good infestors are even going to be. There's not that many stalkers to shut down. Yeah, this is going to be kind of a weird engagement, kind of an awkward army composition from LoN and an interesting composition from ZvP with just mass colossi. So we'll see how it works. It looks like LoN is going to be moving forward, trying once again to pick off the third base. Maybe not, maybe learning from his mistakes in the past, not wanting to go for that kind of awkward engagement. So it's kind of moving out in a more neutral, open area. I don't think that ZvP sees the army yet, actually. Thanks to this observer, she knows exactly where the army is. And yeah, this is a very tense moment. Both players kind of waiting it out, deciding when they want to attack the other player. Each of them knows that this engagement could very well be their last. And look at this, we have carriers coming out for ZvP. I don't know where exactly they are. She has a big number of Stargates somewhere. And carriers are, of course, super awesome in late game ZvP, if you can get a large number and get them upgraded. And it looks like LoN's moving forward, maybe not. Kind of a debate. Oh yeah, he's going to be moving forward with his Broodlords. This is a much better engagement. The Broodlord's in a much better position. The Ultralisk's in a good position as well, and it looks like this is the time where ZvP wants to attack. This could be the final engagement here. ZvP moving forward with her huge Colossus army. Oh man, these Broodlords are kind of stuck out of nowhere, and here comes the Ultralisk all alone. Oh, this is so bad for LoN. A Vortex going down. Does she have a second? I do believe she does. And oh man, Ultralisk dying so quickly. These Broodlords aren't going to be able to do anything. In fact, he's just going to fly him into the Vortex. That's not smart at all. Oh man. Yeah, the Archon's popping forward, doing a lot of damage to these Broodlords. In fact, they're going to get... Nope, not going to get one, but going to get one really low health. And ZvP's just kind of sitting behind. I'm going to put the bottom thing back up, as that wasn't the final engagement. I kind of thought it would be. But nope. Looks like ZvP wants to be waiting for her carriers before she engages. She does indeed have another Vortex. Vortex being, of course, 100 energy. I would have liked to have seen her maybe wait on that Vortex and then use 2 of them on this army. That would be very effective, I think. But it looks like she's going to be moving forward, and this might be it, folks. LoN moving back a little bit. Actually not, just letting his army take damage. The Ultralisk moving forward. No fungal growths or anything are going down. Is LoN even watching right now? The Banelings just sitting there. The Infestors dying so quickly. Finally some fungal growths going down, but I think it's too little too late. Oh man, Colossus just absolutely wrecking everything. The Banelings can't even get close to the Protoss army. The carriers, of course, killing a lot of the Corruptors, and a nice Vortex going down on the Corruptors. Sending the Banelings in is very smart, but most of them die to the Colossus. And once this Vortex pops, I think ZvP is just going to crush the army of LoN. They're going to be all clumped together, and here it comes. Colossus just crushing all the Banelings. All that's left are about 3 Ultralisks and some Corruptors. This Broodlord, of course, has no chance of surviving, as it is slower than anything in the game. Actually, it's doing quite alright, just now going down. And I think that's pretty much about it. I don't know what LoN can do. He doesn't have that many resources left. We can see that he's on a good number of bases. The whole map's been taken, but ZvP is just in the stronger position. She still has 195 army, so basically max to the 170 of LoN's. LoN continuing to make Ultralisks and Infestors, which his Infestors were not very effective at all. Oh man, Ultralisk just kind of moving through the army. This is so bad. We do have a good bit of Corruptors, which are going to be very good against the Colossi, but once again a Vortex is going to be so effective, and ZvP has the energy for another Vortex, so I don't know. I think the game at this point is basically over. She's going to be moving down and destroying this base, continuing to take bases. Oh, these carriers being caught a little bit out of position. They're going to do a lot of damage to the Corruptors, but the Corruptors can kill them if they don't run, and yep, there's the GG. So, wow, 33-minute game, very long game, but what can you expect on Tal'darim Alter? It is built for long games. Entire map taken. Was a pleasure to cast it. So, if you enjoyed this game, cast number 2 should be up sometime next week. Like I said, this is a best of 7 Don't know if it goes to all 7 games, but if it does, I'll cast them all, get them up on the channel. So if you liked it, please like the video, and please subscribe to the channel. Also comment. I love comments, love reading them and replying to them. And also, I am the official caster of non-esports. I'll put a link in the description bar. You should also check out our YouTube channel over at youtube.com/user/non-esportsofficial. And yeah, that's pretty much all the news I have. I will be flying back to Nashville this weekend, so no casts this weekend. But hopefully this nice long 33-minute game will put you through the weekend. So anyway, thanks for watching.